Hi, I'm Stephen Bruyant-Langer. I've spent 15 years as a global marketeer with L'Oreal and Coca-Cola. Then I was a headhunter for 20 years. And for 30 years, I've been an executive coach working with leaders globally in order to help assist them in their personal and professional lives. During my teaching in strategy and leadership at Copenhagen Business School, I was introduced to 9 principles that were the foundation, the pedagogical foundation for our teaching for students, how to, let's say, what the guiding principles were for teaching. And I've been searching for a Nordic leadership model for years. And what I present to you now is original work. It's my work. It's my creation. And it has taken me many years to fulfill. It seems so simple when you only get the end result. But the breakthrough moment came when I wrote this book, The Existential Playbook, How to Survive, Live and Thrive, based on existential thinking, where it became obvious to me that organizations are even more organic and dynamic than I previously thought. I found out that I had been biased by all my years as a headhunter. I probably placed between 800 and 1,000 executives in different organizations. And I was so used to looking at organizations in a typically organigram way, CEO, the functional directors, and then the other department heads. If we think of the stereotypical organization in a fixed hierarchy, then I will simply read aloud the characteristics of that organization. It would be vertical. It would be hierarchical. It would be sequential. It would be linear. It would be centralized. It would be rational. It would be decoupled and directed. The 3-dimensional moving, organic diagram that I've created is characterized by the following dimensions. You have horizontal, you have network, you have parallel, you have circular, distributed, motivational, coupled, and spiral. So it's a 3D representation of the organization. You can probably clearly already now see what is behind. And if you can't, then I'll help you. The quintessential dimension behind is trust. And that is what characterizes the Nordic countries. I work out of Copenhagen, Denmark, which is, the happiest city in the world. And Denmark is always on top of the happiest countries in the world. Things work really well. The reason for this is the extremely high degree of trust between individuals and organizations, between public and private sector. If there's a CEO from another country that comes to Denmark, I recommend that they talk to the authorities. They can talk to tax authorities, and the tax authorities will help them. It's not an adversary process. So there's a high degree of trust in everything we do. Therefore, the model is also definitely based on a foundation of trust. I think that there's a gap in traditional organizational models, and these gaps create friction. My objective in this context is to reduce friction, to reduce complexity, to create faster decision, and thereby creating value also at a lower cost. There's so much waste in having to get approval at a higher level instead of being empowered as an employee to make decisions. It's important that there is no fear, no anxiety in the organization, and therefore no power gain. Of course, the CEO will always, his or her jokes will always be better than other people's jokes. People will laugh more. But as far as possible, you should, not use that power, and you should not use it in your language, and you should show more respect for others. There is one fundamental obstacle to adopting this model, and it's something human. It's a need to give away power. So this is a difficult dimension for most leaders. If you have power, if you're the great CEO, the great visionary, the great, superhero, then it's extremely difficult to accept that you have to give away power. You have to delegate it to an even higher degree. You have to empower others. You have to not rely on your position in the organizational diagram, because in the new Nordic leadership model, you're a part of a circular movement. You're an integrated part of an organic circle. It's a flow. It's a fluent process. Since most of us like being visible, most of us like to be acknowledged, most of us love being applauded. Therefore, it is sort of counter to some human characteristics to believe firmly that you can create more value by only contributing and giving to others. One practical move in order to implement the Nordic leadership model is to seek diversity, to be very precise in wanting feedback from other spheres of life, bringing in minorities, bringing in customers or clients or consumers in order to have their voice in the manufacturing of your products or services. Let's move into an end user perspective. It's again about respect for other people's views and being able to yourself change your opinions, your values, and your mindset and actions and behavior so that you can feel that your own thinking is integrated. There's a direct financial impact of using the model. It reduces friction and it reduces redundancies. It reduces repeated processes, projects that are taken or keeping on, going on for years without any specific results, but where people are holding on to their roles because of the money involved or the prestige involved. Here it becomes a much more direct and fair and honest relationship that you are there because you create value. And it's not a question of title or position or power. It's what you contribute with, and everybody can contribute. The three key takeaways from the Nordic leadership model is that trust is primordial. It is cost efficient. And it's simple. Even though it looks complex, when you have this mindset, lots of issues simply disappear because friction disappears. In order to start implementing this model, what I suggest you do is to contact a person that might come with a totally different perspective to your usual way of thinking. So having input from another person that you would normally not contact, and that you can do today. Find out who is the person that might be challenging this issue or this way of thinking, and who can come up with a totally different solution. It will feel awkward in the beginning, but it will create value in the long run.